All right, now the video is live. It looks like I need to adjust the camera a little bit. So, I think it's taking folks a minute to you know join in. So while that's going on, let me adjust the camera just slightly because it's at a tilt for some reason. So yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of a kind of vertigo effect for a moment while I adjust this. Trying to level it out. Yeah, I know. I know. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to adjust the camera. Okay, I think that's okay. I'm looking at the screen. I guess that should do it because I mean we're sort of at an angle, but you should have a good view. So okay. Hey, I see Marie. Hey, joining us all the way from the United Kingdom in Sebekekaway, and awesome. It must be pretty late where you're at, because if it's a quarter till 9 in the evening, well, maybe is it early morning or is it late evening or
they're 8 hours ahead of us.
Okay, wow. Almost, it's a quarter till 3 in the morning over there. Wow. Goodness. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being up with us so late. So yeah, I wanted to show off a little bit before we get started because we went back down to the Houston Museum of Natural Science this week, and it was myself and Darren and Morgan, our lovely assistant, and had a wonderful time. And we also got to go see the dinosaurs this time, and that's if you go to a museum like that, you should check. And there's dinosaur skeletons there. You should check it out. It's really amazing. But I actually got something that is on the altar tonight. This, and I'll take it off so everyone can see. This is a licensed replica made in Egypt of Khufu's bark, and I'll bring it so you can see.
Very nice.
Yeah, and so. Since tonight we're doing the sailing of Ra, I thought, oh, how perfect. Knowing that ahead of time when we went down there, I said, yes, I think I'll take one of these because now Ra has his own specific boat, and I have no idea where I will put this afterwards. I'm going to have to rearrange some things around here, but. Sometimes you get something and it's not about where you're going to put it. You figure that out. You just get it because it's there and you must have it. We've ended up like that with Transformers now and again, and Star Wars stuff too.
Yeah, we need a house.
Well, what I need to do is rearrange some space and get some more bookcases and other things like that. So, it's going to be like Tetris with stuff.
Yeah.
So,
more shelf space.
Hey everyone! All right, and folks are joining us. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, and so Maria's saying that she takes her little boy to museums. We have one here so he can see the dinosaurs. Yeah, and those are amazing. Especially because they had several skeletons that were a lot of some of them were replicas, some of them weren't, and a lot of them were
size.
Yeah, all life size, and you realize how big these things are. 65 million years ago, dragons were real. Yes. That big. But the other thing, I'm not sure. I think I know a couple of festivals that we can involve it in. Oh, are you okay, Darren? You just sort of here. Oh, hold on. Where are you itching? Here, lean forward, and I'll help you with that. Is it right there?
Close. Up. Toward you.
Right there?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. We'll give you those cool waters and you'll forget all about it. Anyway, so I'll show you one more thing, since everybody's kind of coming in and joining us. This is also something that was a licensed replica made in Egypt. And it's a replica of a statue that some of you guys have probably seen before. So you have Horus and Set placing their hands on the newly crowned Ramses III. And
That's my favorite statue set.
yes, and that was another of those pieces that I said, I have no clue where I'm going to put them for right now, but
I gotta have it.
yeah, because it is so hard to find good statues or set. So yeah, this was really great. So maybe for either Hebset or for the Feast of Set in June or something like that, we'll set him up. No pun intended, haha. So so in the meantime, they're just kind of in a spot kind of off to the side. So we'll figure out where to put them eventually. So okay, and hopefully everyone in the United States is doing all right. Versus the DC Natural History Museum is my closest dino skeleton. Yeah, okay. And Marie's saying we also traveled to York Museum to see the Greek and Roman artifacts, and it has some Egyptian artifacts in there as well. Yeah, and of course you guys have the advantage of Greek and Roman artifacts. Well, Roman stuff, there's things locally there.
Yeah.
Because it had extended into the lower parts of Britain.
Right.
So that's really cool. But yeah, so that's what we did this week, and it was a much needed vacation. And I have Morgan completely enthralled at the idea of we may have to sit down and do a reaction reading or something for the stories of Set Nakayam with Set, if you're familiar with those. Because I said he's sort of the ancient Egyptian equivalent of a superhero, and of course Morgan, being a big superhero fan, he was like, "Go on." So I told him I won't spoil it. But
Robert Downey Jr. is playing the lead.
you're right. I don't think that would work. And okay, and it's sitting here looking for a water bottle that was right there on the drafting table. But it's been a long day. So let's go ahead and get started. Yes, and I hope everyone that's over to the east of us is doing well, and that's hopefully I haven't heard from Wolf yet, but hopefully the storms that went up through Waldron didn't cause too much trouble. So. These cool waters are upon my hands, and they purify me, as Tefnut purifies me. Hail unto you, Unritude. We come unto you without falsehood and without evil. Our purity is upon our hands. Purity is within our hearts. And we have cast out all evil that pertains to us. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. I try to make it quick.
It's cold. How does that get so cold?
I don't know. It just sits there at room temperature. I don't do anything to it. I promise. We might need to leave the webcam going one day. Just so I'm focused on that, so nothing happens until then. What? Except that would be a really boring stream. Okay. Come in peace, bright eye of Horus. Come in peace. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra and all of their abodes, till none remain.
Receive the light.
Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus comes to the four corners of the world, to everyone who is tuning in with us now and will be joining us in the future. This eye of Horus comes, and we are all purified with it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
You arise in the Aketes Kefri, O Ra, spreading your light upon the earth. You set in peace in the mountains of Manu as a tomb, bringing your light to Duat. Shine upon earth as you do in heaven and Duat. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who came from Nun at the first time, for such is your uniqueness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Hu at your left side, for such are the words you commanded. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Sia at your right side, for such is your great wisdom. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, whose Hika goes before you, for such is your ability. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who rules with Ma'at upon your brow, for such is your righteousness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, and hail and praise unto you, O Yunuchidu, you lords of love and lords of life. Grant us life, well-being, and health. May our eyes perceive your goodness, and our hearts receive your wisdom. May you shine upon us as you traverse the sky, that we may bring to you Ma'at and cast out Esfet. And may you guard us from the evil one through the dark hours of the night, your protection being before us and your strength being within us. And let's light our candles for Mama Sekhmet, for strength and for healing, for those who need it. And Mahes, Scarlet Lord, to protect us from the storms that come through at this time of year. We ask you to be with us and to protect us as you protect Ra. Take these, your cool waters, which are the inundation, that they may cool your hearts. O Ra, O Yunuchidu, these waters are the eye of Horus, that your hearts may be refreshed. Milk, milk, may you taste it in your shrine. May your hearts be refreshed with it. We bring you this milk from the great flood, O Ra, O Yunuchidu, that you may be purified with it. We give you incense. We give you incense great of purity. This incense is the eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. It cleanses you, it adorns you. It takes its place upon your hands. O Yenechuru, we give to you this eye of Horus. Its fragrance comes to you. Take this, your bread on which gods live. This bread is the eye of Horus, O Ra, O Yenechuru. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. The gardens prosper and Hapi rejoices, overflowing with his meal. We fill the eye of Horus for you with wine, O Ra, O Yenechuru. Drink and be pure. The doors of heaven and the doors of earth are open with libations for you within this house. May your faces be refreshed with your libations, your wine and your water. Pure, pure is Ra Horeketi within his house. Pure, pure is Sekhmet within her house, and Mahas within his house. Pure,
Jai.
yes. Pure are the cause of all of these gods with this good myrrh that is given. Jehuti proclaims it. It is written in his house of sacred words. Hapi gives in abundance. Thousands of offerings, all things good and pure, for Ra Horeketi, Sekhmet and Mahas, in every place that their immortal cause dwell. I've got a napkin here if you need one. Are you?
I'm gonna make noise.
Oh, okay.
It's the myrrh.
Actually, no. I think it's all the oak and the pine outside, because we have oak.
Nah.
We have oak trees in our front yard, and then pine trees in the next door neighbor's yard. And when one gets done, then the other one starts up, and they're starting. The pollen season has begun where
The
we are.
pollen wars.
Yeah. So the time of year when vehicles all take on a yellow cast. And it starts early for us as the season goes on. It'll, places north of here will blossom with
yes.
buds and with pollen.
And then we'll also get the white from cottonwoods and everything else.
Okay, we don't get that down here, but the yellow, yeah, we definitely get. So yeah, that's starting. So it actually wasn't. Notice he started sneezing before I had lit the myrrh. And I've also stopped using patchouli incense when Darren is in here, because we figured out that that's apparently an allergen. So yeah. Okay, but we have set out our offerings, and so now we invite the Netriter to partake, holding out a hand. Come to your body, O Ra Horeketi. Come to your bodies, O your Netriter. Come to your invocation. Come unto us, your servants, who are mindful of your feasts and your offerings. Bring your power, your hika, your honor, and your ba to these your offerings, and partake of them. Come, O people. Raise these offerings before the faces of these gods. Lift the offerings before Ra, before Sekhmet, before Mahas. All life comes from them. All health comes from them. All stability comes from them. All good fortune comes from them, as it has since the first time. Ora Horaketi, and your son, the Osir Nisu Nebkeperu Ra. Your foes retreat from you. Horus turns himself to his eye. Turn yourselves to these, your offerings, and receive them from our hands. Okay, I'm just going to step over real quick and make sure I'm not missing anything with. Oh, the kitty trying to sniff the candle. I think the kitty will figure out, rather quickly. Okay, what's good and what's not good to sniff. Okay. All right, Seba Kekwa has a prayer request. My wife is doing the egg transfer next week. We ask the Neptune to bless its success. Absolutely. And okay, and the weather's not looking so good in the UK next week either, especially where Marie lives. Not bad storms or anything, just very cold and rainy. Yeah. And thank you, 9/11 Sean. And folks are saying, "Bless you, Darren. Sorry you're sneezing."
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and sarcastic prayers of thanks to Jehuti got a 98% on a test. Awesome. And I bombed the last two in that class. I mean, keep it up their finals. I'll have to get her, make them something nice. Yes. And hi, Rebecca. And I think somebody asked if we're in Central Texas. No, we are in Northwest Louisiana. So. Okay, and just like I said, just making sure. And prayers and thanks to Bast. Took Kiki to the vet, and she got a clean bill of health. She's well behaved, and got her shots. Awesome. Okay, well, Irelby, if you're okay, you're hoping you were hoping that we were in your backyard. Well, Central Texas. Remember, we just drove down to Houston earlier in the week, so Central Texas, depending on where it is, we can get to it. We've been to different parts of Texas. Haven't been down to like the lower Panhandle, El Paso. That region. Never been there, but lots of other places in Central Texas we've been to. So okay, but just making sure that I was caught up on the comments. Now we have offered for the gods. We bring offerings to the table of the blessed dead. We light for them this eye of Horus, that it may light their way and do on. Okay. And we pour for them these cool waters from the table of Osiris, that their hearts may be refreshed. Hold on, is this one? I just got to make sure it's set nice and flat in there. Okay. Porkeru ta henket kakao abdu senachuraha kutnibet nafra wabet akhet nasharim and cow and akhu punibu ma kerenibu hiranachra. Or so yeah, ka ta henket. So 1,000 of bread and beer, beef and fowl, incense, oils, and all good and pure things on which a God lives. as a voice offering for all of these Aku, all true of voice before the great God. And we said that for because there's a few actual mummies in the Houston Museum of Natural Science, and there's one, and I'm gonna have to post some pictures. I did not take any pictures of the mummies themselves, but there's one gentleman. His name is Nezi Konsu, and he had his coffin with him, and it's from the late period, so it's very richly decorated, and so that's on display where you can see it, and his actual mummy is off to the side. And last year when we went, Morgan saw him and kind of made a connection with him because he said, well, he was, a college, he must have been like a college kid because he was 18 when he died. And, I noticed that he had a smirk on his face and, so, I guess he kind of connected. And then we went back through the permanent collection and it's like, oh, hi, nice to see you again. So we made sure to say a voice offering for him too. So, that's the cool thing if there's like a museum or something that you're able to go to, and see, then you can sort of make friends with the folks that are there, especially if they know that there's somebody who has a clue what's going on, what to do. So, and now we come unto you, O Ra, as Jehuti comes, our hands joined under Ma'at. Ma'at has come to be with you in every place where you are. An offering of Ma'at is made unto you, that your heart may be pleased and your Ka shall live. Truly, your Enid has Ma'at, for they know you live in her. The Enid says unto you, your word is law, eternally. This fet is cast out by your word. Rejoicing is yours every day. Ma'at has taken her place. Okay. Scoot him back just a little bit. There we go. They're all together now. Ma'at has taken her place in your shrine. And may we always act with gentility and compassion, for such is the first Ma'at. May we always offer charity and hospitality, for such is the second Ma'at. May we always respect consent and fidelity, for such is the third Ma'at. May we always avoid violence and promote wellness, for such is the fourth Ma'at. May we always speak words of truth, for such is the fifth Ma'at. May we always promote the public good, for such is the sixth Ma'at. May we always act humbly and with temperance, for such is the seventh Ma'at. May we always honor our gods and respect others, for such is the eighth Ma'at. May we uphold Ma'at like Jehuti, that we may witness Ra's perfection every day. Okay. We'll read a couple of things for Ra, and then because we have some folks saying, praise Jehuti, we passed tests, we'll make sure to include him as well. And congrats on passing, by the way. There we go. Now come to be the words of the Lord of all. I am a tomb when I was alone. I came into being in noon. I am Ra in his rising, in the beginning ruling that which he has made. I am the great God who came into being himself, the waters, noon, the father of the gods. What does it mean? It is Ra, who created the names of his limbs. They have come into being as the gods in Ra's suite. I am unopposed among the gods. I am yesterday, I know tomorrow. What does it mean? Yesterday is Osiris, tomorrow is Ra, on that day of destroying the wicked foes of the Lord of all, and of crowning his son Horus. I made the battleground of the gods as Osiris, Lord of the Western Desert, commanded. I know the great God who is in it. I am the great phoenix who is in Unu. I am the overseer of that which exists. What does it mean? It is Osiris. Otherwise said, that which exists is his body. Otherwise said, it is eternal renewal and everlastingness. Neheh and Jed. Neheh, eternal renewal, is the day. Jet, everlastingness, is the night. I am Min in his going forth. I have placed the dual plumes on my head. I am the great cat who split the Ished on its side in Unu on that night of war, of warding off the rebels, on that day which were destroyed, the wicked foes of the Lord of all. What does it mean? That great cat who split the Ished on its side in Unu is Ra himself, called Cat, when Sia said of him, how like him by what he has done. Misum namra iranef kopra nefim, and his name became Cat. Wrongdoing is overthrown and evil is destroyed. I have seen Ra born from the hindquarters of the great flood. If he is well, then I am well, and vice versa. And for Jehuti, hail and praise unto you, Jehuti, thrice great God, the son of Ra. Lord of Chemnu, wise one in Unu, you report to Ra every morning. Messenger of humankind, you know people by their speech and judge them by their deeds. Those true of voice before Oster, their names are in your list. The Aeneid gives you praise as you guide the bark of millions, as you cast out the evil one, as you change strife into peace. You know all secrets, all books, all deeds, the fleeting moment, the hour of night. No report to Ra is forgotten. Your words endure for eternity. Friend of the people, wise and impartial, great one, Lord of Ma'at. And I have to thank Jehuti as well because I'm going to do a video a little later this spring about lunar deities, and I said, oh, well, hopefully I can find some good pictures of some things of Jehuti at the exhibit, and I got quite a few. So that's as if he was saying, oh, you need something? Hi. So, I'm thankful for that, and look forward to putting those together. So one more prayer for Ra. This is something original. Hail unto you, O Ra! You live, and the evil serpent dies. Hail unto you, O Ra! You sail in your sunbark, alive, well, and happy, while your wicked foes are cast into the fire and consumed. Be gone, Nick. Be gone, Rosa. Be gone forever, I say. You and all your confederates shall not be, shall not exist. You shall not be seen, shall not be heard, shall not be perceived. You shall not act, shall not work Hika. You shall not recruit nor grow in numbers. Lo, you shall grow weak, you shall diminish, and you shall be no more. Hail unto you, O Ra! You sail forth in joy every day. Your reach is far and long. Your works are mighty. Your powerful stroke hits its mark every time. Your followers serve you. They hear your words. Their voices are heard extolling your name far and wide. The ranks of your followers grow in number and strength. O Ra, your name is established for eternity, and your works endure forever. Ma'at makes her place on your brow for all time. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra! Hail and praise, hail and praise, hail and praise, hail and praise. And please, may it go well for Seba Kekoe and Kit Fox. We're going to have, yes, they're going to have an egg transfer. I think you said it was next week. So,
the joyous of luck.
Yes. Yes, may it be successful, and may it be a beautiful family.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Okay. And so we're going to Well, the cooking, of course, all prayer requests, are welcome. And just another thing to make note of: ever since the invasion of Ukraine last year, I put um, a blue and a gold ribbon. They have been in this spot on, our offering table for the past year, and they will stay there until Ukraine is at peace and free. And nothing against our friends in Russia, because there are fellow Kemetics in Russia,
Right.
and we want nothing but the best for them. There's no quarrel with them. It's
I
with
just want peace and bloodshed I
To
want
stop,
bloodshed
yes.
to stop.
Yeah.
There needs to be peace. Life
Yeah.
must go on.
yeah. So
Life must prevail.
absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and start with a cookie. This is going to be for everyone, especially those who are tuning in afterwards and who might, not be able to join right now because of weather or other things. We'll start off with you. And that one decided to.
Is there one or two?
It's just one this time. Great things are made of little things.
Wow.
And seems to be appropriate coming from Ra. The idea is the little things that you do are not so little. Those are the building blocks that add up to a temple.
Listen, every drop of water.
Mhm.
It took a drop of water to begin the Nile.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yes. And all those little drops of water from the monsoon way down in, the Horn of Africa is what brings the inundation.
Right.
So yes, great things are made of little things.
Little things mean a lot. Yes.
Yes. So that is for everyone. Okay. Okay, now Rebecca says a prayer for my family since my stepdad died last week. Yes.
Oh, my condolences, sweetie. Sorry for your loss, babe.
Yeah.
We love you. All of you.
Yeah, so kind of interesting. Judy was like, bet, yeah. And saying, speaking of things I can make to thank Judy, my mom got me some crystal beads for my birthday, and they arrived today. I got some honey moonstone, and they just have Jehudi all over them. Yes, that sounds awesome. Take a picture when you put it together.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. And Railby is in Austin. Yeah.
We've been to Austin.
Do they still do Ushicon down there? Because the one or two times we went there, man, that was.
That's a good con.
Yeah, that was a fun con. I think it was just 1 year, but
Sci-fi and anime shows. Let us know, please.
Yeah.
Especially with Star Wars guests.
Yeah. Oh goodness! And Arelby says prayer for my aunt and her husband because they lost his son this week. That is tough. Yeah, there's been had a lot of those.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
And Ray P says prayer for my sister-in-law's father, that he may be able to recover. May the news for him be good, and may he wake up to see his family.
Amen.
Yes. And prayers to Anapu to guide me spiritually through my move, and Wepawet to guide me physically through the strange new place. Yeah, Ushicon is in January. And we went there. Actually, that's the one that we went to the same weekend that we lost Columbia.
Yeah.
And coming back through there, we drove past a piece of debris.
Wreckage, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really surreal. But otherwise, though, it was a great con. It was a fun con.
Yeah.
But okay, so Sarcastic is the first one with a cookie request, and then Seba Kekwe and Daniel Riffle.
No way.
So yeah.
No way.
All right, so I'm gonna end up the scroll the chat's gonna freeze for me just for a moment, and I'll scroll down after I get through. But we'll start with Sarcastic.
Really?
Oh yeah. Okay, let's set it like that. Okay. Sarcastic. Fate loves the fearless. Fate loves the fearless. Don't be afraid. Go for it. Fate loves the fearless. Okay, and Seba Kekaway. And by the way, guys, if I were made of money, I would have bought a whole bunch of Anubis plushies and like sent them to people because they had these little plush Anubis dolls in the gift shop, and I know there are several folks who would have loved those. But again, I'm not made of money. But what I did do is Morgan bought one, and so I told him bring it over sometime, and we'll take a look at it and see if we can figure out, by looking at the seams, how it was put together, and maybe come up with a pattern.
I bet it was done with cloth. If you guys could have seen the look she just gave.
All right. Seba Kekaway. There are many paths to the top of the mountain, but only one view. There are many paths to the top of the mountain, but only one view. So I guess it doesn't matter how you get there. The end result is going to be you're going to be at the top of the mountain. So don't worry about how you get there.
Worry about how you get down.
Okay. And then Daniel. Oh. Daniel, you got two of them. You wanted some insight. I think somebody had some. And the first one. Discriminating mind leads you to the proper direction. Now, of course, discriminating in this case means, deciding not,
Not reacting. Think
Right.
about it.
Now, the second one. I think what I need to do is take the wrappers, because they're kind of adding to kind of the bulk here. Okay, now the second one. The dictionary is the only place where success comes before work.
Damn. I think they're telling you some direct stuff, man.
All right, now let me put these two together for you, Daniel. The dictionary is the only place where success comes before work. Discriminating mind will lead you to the proper direction. So I think that seems to me that that's saying you know what to do. Do it.
Yeah.
There's it's going, the success will get there. You're just going to have to work for it, because that's what comes first. and think about it and what you need to do, and discern which path to take. So hopefully that helps. I'm going to put these there. There we go. So. Okay. And next is Serana, and then Ireldi. And then Mary Buckwood. And Rose was saying, I feel like all of nature worships Ra. His sun, his warmth makes the rain, it makes the birds come back, and the plants grow toward him. And I agree with that. I can remember at some point last year, actually, I was leaning up against. There's a big sweet gum tree in the front yard, and it's like one of the tallest trees in the yard, so I call it the king of the front yard. And I remember leaning up against it, and it's like the tree was saying, we worship Ra too, because think about it. Trees and plants, what do? They grow towards the sun. So, Serana, then Ireldi.
This is kind of really shown whenever you watch a sunflower.
Yeah. Okay. Serana. Let's see. I think we start talking about plants and then it makes your allergies go.
Y'all, please forgive me.
Okay, so Serana, your first one. If you're happy, you're successful. That's the first one now. It's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude. And I'll read that second one again. It's your attitude, ATTITUDE, not your aptitude, APTITUDE, that determines your altitude, ALTITUDE. And then the second one, or the first one, if you're happy, you're successful.
They're reinforcing each other.
Yeah.
Let no one tell you differently. Listen, one of the worst things you can do in this world is try to live up to some other dummy definition of success.
Yeah. And believe me, I live that because, I have a couple of siblings that they're doing what, normal people consider successful, but they're really miserable. And meanwhile, I may not have as much material as they do, but we still have a nice house. We have 2 beautiful pets. Actually, Yotsuba will be 10 years old tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
And the only reason why I didn't bring her in here is because, for one, she's sleeping right now, but two, she would she wouldn't be able to sit still through this. She would be complaining at some point.
Yep. And ducks also poop at random.
Yes. But no, the point being that, people measure success by the wrong things. If you're happy and you've got a good attitude, that's what's important. If you're happy, you're successful. Okay, so next up, and I'm gonna have to pick that up in a minute. Is Irelbi, and then Mary Buckaway. And then 9/11 Sean. Okay, hold on. There we go. Ireldi, this one's for you. Irelbi, to affirm is to make firm. Yeah, a bit of a riddle here, like the other one. Affirm as an AFFIRM. To say yes. To agree is to make firm.
You need to stop sitting on the fence on some things. Decide what you're going to do, declare it, and stick to it.
Yes, to affirm is to make firm.
Yeah, sounds like Tahuti.
Well, what's interesting is there's a and this is visiting the neighbors for a minute, but there's a prayer to Ishtar, and addresses her as whose scent is firm, or another translation, her yes means yes.
Yes.
In other words, there's no maybe to it.
Yeah.
So to affirm is to make firm. So I think what they're saying is don't stop relying on maybe. Okay, so married Wepaway. And actually, that was something else that I thought of. If we have a pattern for an Anubis plushie, use gray fur and you have a Wepawet plushie. Because nobody does those. We need Wepawet plushies. Married Wepawet. Excitement and intrigue follow you closely wherever you go.
I don't know if that's good or bad, depending.
Well, hopefully it's good. If not, then try to take a break for a little bit. Take it easy this weekend. Excitement and intrigue follow you closely wherever you go. Okay. Oh, and Sarcastic is saying there's a pagan pride event in Tacoma this year. But Maria and in England, we're nothing like that in my hometown. Unfortunately, it would be nice someday if we could have a pagan pride day. Yeah.
I figured Stonehenge would kind of cover that, don't they?
Well, no, that's a little different. Pagan pride.
Well, that's true. Stonehenge is about Druid, isn't it?
Well, no, Pagan Pride Day. That's like kind of everybody.
Universal. I understand that.
But the funny thing is, you have to license it. Yeah. If you want to call it Pagan Pride Day, you have to license the name. Otherwise, you can have, because that's what we did when we had one here. We had a great one in 2019, and we were planning for 2020, and then 2020 happened. So it hasn't started back up, and we've kind of been sort of scratching our heads as to whether or not to do that, but that'll be for another time. So 9/11, Sean, ask about my search for love. And then, let's see, Ha! Sarcastic says, I got an Anapu plush that I used to use as a statue until I got my new one. Now I have an old bis and a new bis.
Ha 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 ha.
Very good.
Yes, very good. Droll.
Okay.
Very droll.
Yes, so 9/11 Sean. And I'm just scrolling down to make sure. All right, well let's just concentrate on you 9/11 because you're asking about love. And may Hathor, mistress of Unit, which is the feminine equivalent of you knew, um, Ra's hometown. May she help us have some insight. Nine 11, Sean. Over self confidence is equal to being blind. Overconfidence, shortening it a little bit. Overconfidence is equal to being blind.
However,
Hmm.
underconfidence is blind completely. Not literally, not figuratively,
Hmm.
equally.
But
You know, the only advice I can give you on love is from my own experience. When I threw my hands up and said, I'm done, if you want me to have somebody, she better land in my lap. Because I ain't looking, I ain't bathing, I ain't brushing my teeth, nothing.
you're exaggerating slightly.
And I met Sharon shortly after.
There you go. But yeah, but it specifically says over self confidence is equal to being blind. I think the thing is, the hit that I got was, you might be overlooking something because
you want so badly.
Yeah.
Let go.
And that's kind of what happened, I think, when you said, "Okay, I'm not looking. I'm letting go," and then it just presented itself.
It's also what happened when I got my first job too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, as you said, "Okay, I'm not looking," and it just came to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Hmm. Oh, okay, sarcastic is saying, might just heck it and go for a master's in Egyptology. I know there's not a lot of jobs in it, but there's not a lot of jobs in anthropology either. It's something I really enjoy studying and already know. Yeah. Um. Yeah, and there are ways to parlay it into. You might end up as a professor, or teaching history or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yes, and Isn't surrounded with life lesson. Attitude is everything. How do you change your attitude? Reframe your life. Shall reframe the story. So, best example I've ever seen is in the anime way of the house husband. uh, hmm. Yeah, it's Finn is saying I'm going to be living above a bunch of horse stalls. I wonder if any gods would correspond with horses. Yeah, they were a late adaptation into Egypt, and so there are no deities really associated with horses. I want to say that there's a connection between the stallions and Ishtar, but I'd have to, look a little further into that. Rebecca, you'd probably have to ask your husband on that one, but at least in the manga that I've got, she does.
Yeah, that's kind of like someone asking about if there is a god of camels.
Not really. Yeah, now, Rush Up or Rush Poo, could be one. That's more Canaanite, and yes, Epona being the Roman goddess. Yes, and that was Pia. He was like, oh, and there's a historical record of Pia where a Nubian king, and he actually, when he invaded, he saw that during a siege of a particular city in Egypt, the horses were going hungry, and he got very angry about that and wanted to see to it that the horses were fed, because that's actually something the Nubians were. They actually would ride horses, on horseback. The Egyptians didn't do that; they only used them for chariots. So the Nubians were better horsemen. There's some of the first cowboys, you could say.
Yeah, well, most people in America don't know it, but the cowboy that we think of, 9 times out of 10 was either black or Mexican.
Yeah. Or I think some of them were also Native Americans also, but a lot of minorities. Of course, yeah, a lot of minorities were cowboys.
Right. The American cowboy that we think of isn't John Wayne at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, and Kayleen says, I was going to explain a bit about Australia's indigenous languages. We have over 250. I have a connection to 2 as mother of my birth father, who died before I found my birth family. Was a Wiradjuri and a Wajaba woman. These languages were based in New South Wales and southeast Queensland states, respectively. That's cool. Yeah, but okay. I'm just checking to see if there's any more requests for cookies. Yeah. Yeah, and sarcastic makes a good point. A lot of people don't realize being a professor is part of the job when you're in academia. Because there's that old saying about those who can't teach. That's not true if you're talking about a subject like anthropology, Egyptology, right. Whatever. And like my cousin actually, and since we had someone who's in Austin, I have a cousin who was actually teaching for a little while at UT at Austin. He's an astronomer, and if you're an astronomer, part of that is being a teacher.
Yeah. So, they have 3 jobs: teach, research, and publish.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's it.
All right. Well, I tell you what, guys. Since if anybody has any more requests for prayers or for cookies, let me know. We're going to start, saying our prayer to make the offerings endure, but we won't end the broadcast obviously until we make sure that everybody's, gotten a fortune drawn if they needed it, and that we've loved on you a little bit, so that's what we're here for. And yes, and Kayleen was posting about happy birthday and some other messages in the indigenous Aboriginal languages.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And for all of you who've given those super thanks, thank you. And by the way, group, thank you for the gifts toward me. I really, really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with what.
Yeah. He's very, very judicious before he buys something. He researches, to a high degree.
So believe me, it will be meaningful, and I'm grateful to all of you.
Absolutely. Okay. Hail unto you, Atum. Hail unto you, Capri. You come into being upon the primeval hill. You shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Unu. You breathe out Shu and Tefnut. May the giving of these offerings endure, as the name of Atum, foremost of the great Enid, endures. May they endure, as the name of Shu, Lord of Upper Menset in Unu, endures. As the name of Tefnut, Mistress of Lower Menset in Unu, endures. As the name of Geb at the Earth's Ba endures. As the name of Nut in the Shrine of Shanit in Unu endures. As the name of Osir, Kentiamentiu endures. As the name of Aset in Micheru endures. As the name of Sutek in Nubet endures. As the name of Horus in Pe endures. As the name of Wajit in Dep endures. As the name of Chehuti in Chemenu endures. As the name of Ra and the Akhet endures likewise for eternity. You have come in peace, O Ra. You have come in peace, O Unechiru. May you go forth in peace, O Ra. May you go forth in peace, O Unechiru, to every place your immortal cause wish to be. May you sail in joy in the Manjet bark, and rest content in the Sektet bark. and may you smile upon us, your humble servants. Yes, and that's what I was explaining when I pulled this out in the gift shop and showed it to Darren and to Morgan, about the two barks, for the day and the night. And I tell you what we'll do is because I know some folks tuned in a little after we had gotten started, and it was right at the beginning that I showed everyone for our sailing of Ra. This is going to be his bark, and this is a replica made in Egypt of Khufu's bark that was buried at the base of his pyramid. And he was buried with two, and so they were meant to be the Menjet and the Sektet bark. So Ra has his very own ride.
I do believe one of the barks was supposed to be made of malachite.
No, they were both wood, because there's a National Geographic article, and it's
I mean Ra's barks.
Oh yes, yes. I think so. Well, we'll see. And here's the funny thing: it's probably better. I figured out that plexiglass case stays on there. It's not coming off. So because I thought about maybe painting it, but it's got that case on it, and it has like this thing. It has a certificate of authenticity, because like the whatever was the place that made it. It's got the stamp from the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities from Egypt. And so I'm like, you know what? I better not mess with that. It needs to stay in the plexiglass, so it's pristine. But that's.
If anything, you can use it as a reference and make another one.
Yeah. But hey, he's got and I figured it would be kind of appropriate to have a replica of Khufu's, because obviously that was meant for Khufu to be able to sail along with Ra. So.
But it's two beautiful acquisitions.
Yes. Okay, and so Sabakakwa is a prayer for my best friend. He's in the hospital. His alcoholism is killing him. Pray that he gets better. Oh goodness, yeah.
My love.
Yeah, we know.
We know exactly what you're going through.
Yeah, because that happened to Darren's dad. And
I want to say something to you. Medication can only do so much. That person has to decide to defeat the demon that is that substance. And by defeat it means put it down completely, absolutely, no matter what, forever.
Yeah. And also keep in mind that it's going to involve a change of attitude, outlook.
And the way they see themselves in the world around them.
Yeah, because we also have had experience with someone who put down the bottle but didn't change any of their. They didn't take inventory of themselves and see what else they needed to change. And it's still an ultimately destructive path.
Yeah.
So.
No introspection.
Yeah. Tell you what. So we'll do one more prayer for everyone that we have requests for. Hear us, O Ra, great Lord of Yunu, and place your arms of blessing around everyone who has joined us tonight, and their loved ones, and the ones that we're praying for. Let them rejoice in your bounty, and their hearts take joy in your kindness. Tell Neat and Upwot to open their ways for them, and may you protect them with your strong arm of compassion. For you are the All-Lord, the Lord of Ma'at. Holy and splendid is your name. Khepri at dawn, Atum at dusk, Ra Horaketi as you rule the nine. Hang in there, you guys. Much love and prayers for life, prosperity, health, favors, affection, and blessings for everyone that needs it.
Well-being be with you.
Yes. Okay, yeah, and well said. Sarcastic says some therapy wouldn't hurt either. No shame in getting help.
Absolutely. And as a therapist, I will be the first one to tell you, medication is one thing, but you know what? Medication goes a lot better with therapy
Yeah.
because medication helps us manage our symptoms.
Mhm.
Therapy helps us learn how to build, well, the attitudes and behaviors that we need to build in order to survive.
Yeah. Oh, and Seba Cathway, talking about the friend that they're concerned about, has had a lot of struggles because he's gay, and is such a loving person. And I'm going to say this: some people might be concerned about going to a therapist if they are LGBTQ, if they're pagan, whatever. A good therapist who's worth their salt, that's not going to matter.
That's not an issue. Look,
And if it does matter,
I
then
will
you
be
need
the
to change.
first one to tell you your choice of faith is not a hallmark of psychosis. Your 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 sexuality isn't either.
Right. All of those things are they're not bad, and some there's nothing wrong with them, and someone who's trained and knows what they're doing will understand this
Right.
and will not try to convert you.
And
And if someone does, then you
and I will be
get
the
different.
first one to tell you. Most people never find the right therapist the first time. And if you don't find the right one, keep hunting till you do.
Oh, and good night, Rebecca.
There's no disgrace in dropping them like a bad habit.
Yeah.
And finding another one.
Hmm.
And I'm telling you that as a therapist.
Yeah, and there are therapists that specialize in working with LGBTQ, and there are therapists that are queer themselves. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, and I have to say thank you for some folks who tuned in, because I'm trying to put together resources to make a help page for the Kemetic Reform website, so that people can go and I can say, hey, just go to the website and you can find some avenues for help for various things, because that's what we're here for. It's
Right.
a service we can provide. So and Rebecca says my hospital here in Iowa has LGBTQ inclusiveness, so if we can do it here, it's in other places. Absolutely. Yeah. So well, that's great. And all right, by the way, yes, send it to you guys. Yeah, it's late where you're at, so thank you for staying up late to join us, and we love you. And
Thank you so much.
Hug your little boy for us.
Yes.
And hugs to everybody. Sabakekaway, hug Kip Fox for us.
Yes.
And so big hugs, you guys.
We love you. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you next Friday. Yes, bye for real now. Totally understand that.